on. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We've got a bunch of people starting to come on. I've got 3 different platforms on here. We've got one to record it. Got another one with Zoom for the insiders who are a part of the call. And then we have for the public, we also have the webinar jam. So I've got 3 different things going on, and I'd love it if each of them I'd love it if Zoom would record better, right, Christina? I'd love it if webinar jam had multiple member types that you get on there. And if somebody knows webinar jam better than I do, you go ahead and tell me. But hey, Heidi, good to see you.
Hi.
And Thomas, good to see you as well. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to give the insiders the ability to have access to ask the questions like we did before, and we're trying to make it so the webinar jam we can provide value to all of the people who find us on social media, who are also part of our mailing lists. And so it's good to have you guys. If you'll turn off your audio if you're on the Zoom, so it doesn't give me feedback on it. And then when you have questions, be sure you turn them back on. So we want to be able to help you with all of that. Let me start going through and let me start sharing with all my different platforms we got there. So it looks like on Zoom, make sure I've got that sharing. Boom. I'll make sure on Webinar Jam, some of you guys can say, well, Jeff, there's an easier way. If you guys can think of a better way to have multiple membership types on here, as well as record in high definition. So there's just my secret for today. For high definition webinars, we use Riverside. It works great because it downloads it from your computer and then uploads it. So that's what we do our podcasts on. That's what I do a lot of product demos on. For Zoom, that enables us to have some of the insiders who are part of the AI mastermind on there. So we've got a bunch of you guys on there as well. And then we have for the general public, we use, and for the people who are subscribed to the monthly, who are also coming to us from some of the different areas that we have on there, then we use Webinar Jam. So we've got people coming in from all over the place, but no matter where you're coming from or what platform you're on, welcome. We're happy to have you here. So today, Christina, what are we talking about?
Social Media 101 Jam.
Social Media 101. All right. So I'm going to go. A lot of times, some of you may say, "Well, Jeff, why do you demo something over and over and over again?" Well, one of the things that I want you to know is one of the best ways for you to get really where you want to be is to train your avatar. So when you first come into the platform, if you just hit templates right here, one of the things that I really recommend, I used to do something all the time called buyer persona, but I've perfected that and made it even easier here inside of these 7-day launch bonuses, 7-day launch bonus part 2. But the best way to train your avatar is just right here. It's just so you'll see it again. It's the 7-day AI power launch. If you click on that and you go through the first 5 steps, it will give you all the information. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will help you train your avatar. So it will become your, I keep using this example, it becomes your Iron Man to your Jarvis, where it really knows you. And I've trained my Bemodo avatar, so it just does a crazy amount of things for me, from my PR releases to my contracts to my social media to my LinkedIn to the articles. Before the start of the year, I'm now publishing full articles every single day onto LinkedIn. We're doing tons of tweets. We're doing just about everything we can to be able to show you guys. It's really, and it's me that's doing it, right, Christina? Go ahead and confirm to everybody. It's me that's doing it, right? She'll confirm. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm cheating too bad with what I'm doing, but we definitely, we definitely are doing a bunch of different things at the same time. So I'm going to show you guys now what I recommend, so you can really make your social media work. Now, Christino does a lot of my social media. but I'm going to be super dedicated to LinkedIn. And we get a lot of interactions from it. I got a lead the other day from a guy because of some of our new emphasis on LinkedIn. He wrote me he wrote me a message and basically says we're looking for a custom AI programming, and he said we have a budget of X. It was a big budget for a lot of companies, and so I think it has a lot to do with our stepped up efforts on LinkedIn. So you really can't ever put out too much content. But what I'm going to help you do today is focus on a single one, and you really should focus on a single one rather than try to spread it out amongst too many other ones as you go through this process. So if you'll go through these steps 1 through 6, the number 7 on here is a social media plan. So I'm going to go to what I started beforehand, and you guys always see that I do this fake energy drink called Body Fuel. And I've already done right before the call steps 1 through 7. Step 1 does something that's called the buyer persona, and it gives you your target market, psychographics, pain points, decision making, primary goals, and really the patterns and trends of what they're going through. Step 2 is their secret desires, and these are all really powerful to do because then it makes your content that much better, and it enables you to train your avatar, right? And that avatar, if you haven't done that, there's a lot of different things that we have on here. So if I'm saying things that don't make sense to you, the insiders, go ahead and chime in, and Christina helped me watch all the different platforms to make sure that I just lost a sharing screen on one of these entities. Let me put that back on there. But at the same point, as it doesn't matter what platform you're on, tell me if you have a question and I'll stop and I'll explain that. But the step 2 goes through their motivations, their positive emotions, all their pain points and everything that they're going through, their identity level desires. Step 3 helps you create a comprehensive company overview. And one of the things that you should know when you're doing your overview in any of these steps, if it asks you a question and you're unsure or you want its suggestions, I'll show you what I do with that in the next ones. That I'll constantly, there's not much to fill out with these, but I'll constantly just ask it, give me your suggestion, give me your suggestion. And the way that we've programmed it behind the scenes is the further you go through these steps, the more likely it's going to be giving you content that's super relevant. So step 4 in this is the brand voice. And it gave me for this body fuel, and the body fuel energy idea that I wanted with it was something out of The Rock, that somebody's super ferocious and some kind of gym rat type of thing for this made up product. And it suggested Michelle Obama. And Michelle Obama would be good for certain energy drinks or certain nutrition programs because of her book and the different things that she's done. But it says on here, communication is warm, inspiring, and authentic. Well, my made-up energy drink is nothing but warm. It is aggressive and it is, macho, right? So all I did is I give it some, as you're going through this, and you don't like it, you need to tell it that you don't like it. Okay? So David asked, can you put it in Simon Sinek? Absolutely. So the same thing on this step when it's making your voice, I just put, I don't like the idea of Obama. Michelle Obama. This needs to be high energy. Tim Ferriss, by the way, is great he's done all kinds of case studies, and I don't know if you know, he actually measured his bowel movements for a long time. He's kind of those crazy guys. He's done all of these he's a super famous podcaster, but he's really well known for body hacks. So I thought, oh, that's a good one. I hadn't thought about him. And then I just said the second one should be Dwayne Johnson. So I tell it what I don't like if it's giving you suggestions. And then it kept Tim Ferriss in there because he's really smart. He does, the lifestyle design, marginal gains. He's got a lot of good things. But then it put Dwayne Johnson's voice in here, and I thought that that personified it better. So I just made a suggestion, and then it told me all of the words it should be using. And you say, what does this have to do, Jeff, with my social media? Well, Christina, what does the brand voice have to do with social media, and why do we do all of these things first? And anybody, Thomas, you've been on enough of these calls. Why in the world do I go through these steps when I'm trying to train people on social media? This is where you can unmute. This is where you can put in your questions. This is where you participate. This is where you tell me, right? Why do I do why do I do all of this first before I start to do a social media plan?
Well, this is Tom. Sorry, I've been out of the game for a few weeks here. We're in the middle of our big push for insurance, but really you have to define what it is you want, and it helps you to do that. It helps coalesce all of your ideas into something organized and useful, and helps you define how you want to be perceived.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. You can't do social media without having a brand voice. You can't do any of these content without having somebody, having it be represented by somebody. What else were you trying to say there, Thomas?
Well, I'm just saying that the having that this process forces you to define yourself.
Yeah.
And you can't really test your market until you do that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So if you're going to define yourself with it, and
time and all kinds of other stuff.
Yep. And last night, for example, Samantha just wrote, how often do you recommend posting to build our social media presence? We're going to get into that, and I'm going to show you with the next step, Samantha. And what Thomas is saying is right. You have to be able to have an energy and idea behind it. But what's great about this is when you take this content and you train your avatar with it, you only have to do this once. So David, if you're choosing to do Simon Sinek, great, because afterward it's going to model your content after Simon Sinek. But it's also going to give you your pillars. This fifth step gives you the pillars of how it will start to present your social media to your audience. And the next step it's going to do, what it does is it gives you a launch plan or a relaunch plan. And what it does in step 6 is it asks you about your company. And I just did this to show it to you. It asked me, what are my current sales channels? And I just said, what do you suggest? So it recommended based upon what Thomas was saying is the vision and the person behind it, your product idea. And so it started based upon the description of the product and the company overview. It suggested all of these. And a lot of people are going to have a tough time typing all of that up. So I just constantly ask it, what do you suggest? And then I approve it or disapprove it. The next one, what's your budget? And I said, my budget's $50,000. You could put in there, how much do you think I need to compete with Red Bull and Monster? And then probably say you need $500 million. But I just said I've got a $50,000 budget to make the product and $50,000 to scale. And I want to raise $3 million. So then it gives me recommendations on the strategy and the considerations that I need to be able to do. And if I approve it, great, then it asks me another question. So what's really important, especially some of these ones that ask you questions one by one in the first 6 steps, just tell it you don't know. Tell it you need its help. When you're filling in the blank, say, I don't know, help me. And it will continue to give you these different things that you need to put into it. So what it does then is it gives me suggestions on how to market it, and then the kind of team that I need to be able to do it, staying within my budget. So this is all step 6 right here. And then it finally gives me a suggestion on what I should do, because I said I want to launch within a month. So then it goes through and gives me the entire suggestion of how to launch in a month, step by step by step. And then it gives me some additional things that I should be considering, and why I would normally go through and build out all of those. But just for the sake of this, I stopped there. This is where I'm going to hit templates right here. And then you just simply go to step 7 and it's going to actually, all I have to do is put in my time zone, Mountain Time, USA, and it's going to analyze all of this content that's been put in there before and make a recommendation for the best platform for me. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to use that platform. That doesn't mean that that platform is right or wrong. It just means that that's the platform that it's going to suggest for you. Okay? So it recommends for this body fuel, to be able to do this, it says, given your target market of health conscious, fitness enthusiasts, and people interested in fuel. Sorry, I was just looking. There was a comment. Can you ask it to suggest templates to use for given purposes? Yes, but you can ask it different marketing ideas, but it won't tell you what templates within Bemodo to use. I'm going to show you some of those right here, Thomas. It's recommending Instagram, okay? And it's recommending doing stories, videos that used to be IGTV, reels, frequency of posting. I know some of you asked, how often do I do this? It says aim for daily posting schedule with a mix of stories and main feed posts. Initial focus on Instagram. So if you disagree with that, you can say, no, I want to do it on TikTok. But just so you know, TikTok, most brands don't work very well, at least in the United States, for business products. Even though you can, on TikTok, I have one post that had over 2 million views, but I've never been able to sell effectively, even doing advertising on there. So for my product, and even for this one in the United States, Instagram is the perfect one for it. And then it's telling me the times of day that it recommends me doing this. From there, that's when we're going to start to put out a bunch of content, right? That's when we're going to start to really start to output a lot of the just the amount that you need to do. And if you have questions on this, for example, you can say, thanks. What is the optimal amount of posts and reels I should do per day to grow my audience and increase chances of going viral? So you can always ask it once it's done that, how many it suggests that you do that. You can do it for X, Twitter. Twitter, you should be doing 10 sometimes per day if you're really trying to, if you're really trying to get an audience. Twitter is one of those, X is one of those that you also can get a lot of followers simply by interacting with other people. So just by asking it this question, it's suggesting 1 post per day on the feed, 3 to 5 reels per week, 3 to 5 stories per day on this one. And, so you're looking at the suggestions, engagement, and it's giving you engagement suggestions on there, as well as the timing. So 1 feed post, multiple reels per week, and multiple stories per day. Let me look at some of the questions on here. Make sure you tell it how much time you have committed to the content creation. It's an important component. That's a good point, Thomas. Sometimes this just does not make sense to people to post this much. So one of the things you can do there is you can say, just like Thomas said, well, I only have an hour per day to do this. What are some, just the more content you do on some of these doesn't always make it better. Quality content is better than quantity content, but as Alex Hormozy said, quantity content beats all. So it's just the reality of it is the more you can post, if it's quantity, it's going to help. Mark just wrote, how does Bemodo AI assist in creating scripts for video content such as Reels or TikToks? Hey, let's go through some of those. So if you go into the templates again, I'm just going to click the browse templates right up here. I'm going to go to the main area, and I'm just going to type in social media right here. So if you type in the social media, there's a bunch of different things that you can do to put out great content. So for example, this one right here, Reels. If you want to do a reel, this Renegade Marketer video script revamp is excellent. So just click that right there. And for the target market, if you've already done this or you've trained your avatar, all you have to do right here is say, see previous responses. So within a chat, if you already done this, you can just put see the previous responses. If you've trained an avatar, you would select your avatar right here that you've trained and would automatically grab the tone and style that you want. So same thing here. I'm just gonna put that in here. I'm gonna do a 150 right here. 1 minute video is 130 to 150 words. Call to action is DM me for a free can of body fuel, right? And script to rewrite. What's really interesting about this, I'm just going to go on here and I'm going to put let's steal one from Red Bull. Red Bull video script. So I'm just going to grab one. I don't even know what this is. So I just grab it, put it inside of here, and it should now make it my own. So with one of these on here, so do you ever feel exhausted and drained halfway through the day? I've been there pouring my drink into workouts to stay sharp. So it just takes it and it replaced anything referencing Red Bull and put it in with body fuel. It completely rewrote it, but it took the ideas from it and turned it into something completely unique for you. Plus, it did the caption and it gave you some hashtags for it. So if we go back the same one, let's go back to these templates in here. These are all the social media ones. This is attention grabbing live stream promotions. You can try that one. Build your social media content calendar. So it could take Instagram and all you got to do is fill out some basic information. I'll put Instagram on here and I'll put start date as, let's put it as 12/5/2024. Strategy. I'm just going to put see previous. Let me see. Let's put get sales. Topics. Natural energy. Post quantity. Number of posts you want to write this week. Let's be with Tom and let's say we can only do 5 this week. And then tone. I'm just going to put see previous responses. Now, if you have your avatar on here, you can just say see my avatar for instructions and target market, because this is all within the same thing. I can say see previous responses, and this will build out an Instagram content calendar for me based upon a lot of this content that we've already put in there. So this tells me what I should post that day. Introduction to body fuel. These are the captions, the visual assets, what to do, recommend time. And you say, well, what if I don't know what to do on an introduction to body fuel? Well, you just go in and I'll show you how to do that. Let's go into tools and I'm going to put topics. This is a fun one to do as well. And I'm just going to put why Red Bull and Bang, and this is bad English, and Monster are bad for you with all their bad ingredients. I don't know if they have bad ingredients or not. I certainly don't try to drink a lot of them on there. And so I'm just giving some examples. Don't sue me, Red Bull or Bang. The hidden dangers of unpacking harmful ingredients in Red Bull and Monster. Explore the various additives, artificial ingredients. So I can just grab these, boom, and I could put that right into the Renegade, and boom, it'll write a script for you. So you just take all the ideas that it's giving, you can throw in the Renegade, and you're good to go. So inside of here, just type in social media. Once you've done those first 7 steps, it can help you create your calendar. It can help you create captions. It can help you create a media carousel. It can help you with your content creation. It can help you with Facebook messaging. It can help you with dynamic LinkedIn follow-up, connection request constructor. There's a whole bunch of things in here, and I just recommend that you try some of them, and you'll see that once you've trained that avatar, good to go. So hopefully that helps you out with you guys. And we tried to do that in 20 minutes. I had a little bit of all kinds of platforms going on with it. So thanks for being here for the 20 minutes of the AI Power 20 minutes each week. And make sure that if you have questions that you are sending to me beforehand, and I can structure the training specifically for you, and make sure that you're here, and if you've given me the suggestion of what you need, I can answer your questions as well. So follow us on this. Make sure that you're coming in here, testing out the templates, and whenever you have questions, just make sure you send them on, and we're here to help you out with it. So that concludes the presentation, but if you have any questions, I'll stay on now to go through whatever questions that you've got, because it looks like there's some people posting those on there. Heidi just wrote, where do you create your videos for the Reels? And those of you guys who are on the mastermind, you're welcome to unmute yourself. You can put it in the chat or just unmute it. And what do you mean by that, Heidi, how I make the Reels? Are you talking about what program?
Oh, do I have to be on video?
You can if you want, or you can stay out there.
You saw me at the beginning. I'm not all gussied up. No, when you create for Reels, do you, like, if you're putting out a video of just you talking about Bemodo or something, or this energy drink, do you just record it on your phone? I mean, how do you record it and get it up into Reels?
All right, I'll actually show you. I use it for my phone, and you can actually look. We tried digital videos for a while. There's all this rage of let AI make your video for you. It didn't work at all for us, did it, Christina? I mean, it was a complete flop when we tried to do anything like that. And Carol just put on there, I just use my phone. That is how most people should be doing it. But if you're going to be doing it in bulk, and what do you mean by that? You can actually edit the video right in Instagram, and their tools are getting better and better right on there, that you can just edit and put it over. So I use a couple different things, and I'll show you my video on here. So let me pull up this app that I use. It's just called Teleprompter. And what you can do, if you can see it on my phone, I just put the teleprompter in the beginning because it seems I was super self-conscious in the beginning to do it. And all I do is I make the content that I want inside of the, let me just grab one of them here, comfort zone, and I'll get it started here.
Can you make it where, because right now it's in your little bitty thing, but I can see the big screen.
All right, let's do the big screen here. Yep, let me stop the share.
Yeah, because we can't see what you're showing us.
All right, let's take it off the little bitty screen. How about that?
Just make it all about Jeffrey.
All right, here you go. You're going to be able to see my studio. See that? How it's actually just doing a teleprompter. You can see my ring light right behind there. You can actually even see my camera right behind there as well. But what you can do is you can create your teleprompter. It's got a desktop version as well. And you can make it on Bemodo, put it on the desktop version, and it just imports it right into it. And it's just called, I'll pause that. And you can see that I used to do tons of them on there. Now I just do lots and lots of demos. You can see I've got all kinds of different videos that I would create. And as Carol just said, I just use my phone. I'll also show you, I'm going to bring over here, Christina, right, Q prompter on there. Here's another one.
And that's also an app on the phone. Prompter.
Yep. This is Riverside. It's just me looking at me right here. Let me hit. Let me share this with you so you can see it. And this one is called Riverside. I think Riverside is excellent, and you can just see what it is. It's just riverside.fm. It also is a really super simple way to. It's also a really simple way to do videos on there because it just records it in high definition. So if you have anything on your computer, it's a really simple way to use that. So Riverside is excellent for podcasts. Riverside, you can just find it right here. Just riverside.fm.
Dot what?
.fm.
Oh,
So let me hit share so you can see that.
okay.
I'm trying to open up all of my... It is excellent for podcasts, and it's also excellent for doing product demos because it uploads a high resolution version of you and a high resolution version of your desktop. It's really, really good that way. And what I like about that is that, sometimes with Zoom, if you try to do it on Zoom, you're super pixelated on recording any of the videos. That's why we're using 3 different ones. Webinar Jam is great for mass audiences. It's much less expensive than Zoom. Zoom is great for smaller, more intimate groups unless you pay their big fees for it. And then Riverside is high def. So we use, unfortunately, all of them. One of these days, one of them is going to get it together and do what the other ones all do. Does that help?
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any questions?
Well, I'll stop the share on there. Super excited to have you guys on here. Make sure that you send any of the questions the week before. But it's always been fun. During the holidays, it's always a mixed bag of the questions that people have coming on. But it doesn't matter what you have on the product, on the marketing suite, on advertising. We seem to be doing just about all of it these days, right, Christina? Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.